Hello, I'm here today to talk about my favorite game to have ever come out on the Xbox 360, and that is Shadowrun, the first-person shooter that premiered in 2007. This is a game that many people have never played, or many people have never even heard of, and it just became backwards compatible. I was able to pick up a physical copy for less than $2, and you can get a digital copy on the Xbox Marketplace for $15. So what is Shadowrun? Shadowrun is a round-based, first-person shooter that allows you to use special abilities to fight for control of the artifact in online multiplayer. It is possible to teleport, fly, see through walls, resurrect your dead allies, and a lot more, all while shooting each other with a range of different weapons. Teamwork, smart managing of resources, and strategic plays are necessary to win. Every magic, power, or tech ability has its counterpart that can be used by the opposing team to disrupt your playstyle. This is a game that builds on itself. While it may seem simple, there are actually a lot of intricate and subtle aspects to this game that may not be apparent at first glance. The following video attempts to explain the pros and cons of the different magical powers, tech abilities, and weapons, as well as the 4 different playable character races. But before we go any further, we need one quick warning. While this game does bear the Shadowrun name, it is in no way in line with the tabletop RPG Shadowrun games. If you're expecting this game to have aspects of the RPG games, you will be disappointed. Now let's get down to how you actually play the game. There are 3 possible game types: attrition, raid, and extraction. Attrition is your standard team deathmatch, while raid and extraction are different versions of capture the flag, where teams fight for control of the artifact and attempt to score by taking the artifact to a pre-designated location. I will tell you that the online community looks down on scoring the artifact and instead prefers to win by killing the members of the opposing team. Winning a round by scoring the artifact is generally considered to be a dick move. In all game modes, the first team to win 6 rounds wins the game. At the beginning of every game you will choose your race, and at the beginning of every round you have the ability to buy magic, tech, or weapons. The better you perform in a round, the more money you will start with at the beginning of the next round. Once purchased, magic and tech abilities will carry over to the other rounds of that particular game. However, any weapons that you purchase will only carry over to the next round if you are holding them at the end of the current round. So let's learn how to use magic and tech abilities. Once purchased, magic and tech must be mapped to either the right or left bumper or left trigger in order to be used. We do this by holding B to bring up the selection wheel and then choosing either magic or tech. If we choose magic, then go over to teleport and hit LT, teleport is now mapped to LT. Don't forget that anytime you cast a spell, it costs essence. This is a good time to point out your essence bar located in the bottom left of the screen. Magical abilities cost anywhere from 2 to 4 essence points to cast, and as you can see, we've been docked 3 for using teleport. Now let's look at how mapping tech abilities influences our essence bar. If we pull up our selection wheel and map glider to RB, you'll be able to see in the bottom left of the screen, our essence bar now has 2 points locked at the top for using glider. Tech abilities will lock anywhere from 2 to 4 essence points when mapped. Now let's discuss the different magical spells. Our first is Tree of Life. The Tree of Life is Shadowrun's staple healing spell. When cast, the spell creates a large tree that will heal anyone nearby, friend or enemy. Because the tree doesn't care who you are, it is best to cast the spell in a relatively secure area. Always keep an eye on your health meter, located in the bottom right of the screen, and heal when necessary. Healing from a Tree of Life will drain it, and it will eventually wither and die. Trees of Life can take damage as well, so don't be afraid to sacrifice it to keep enemies away. Our next spell is Resurrect. Resurrect allows you to revive fallen teammates on the battlefield. After you have purchased Resurrect, an icon will designate team corpses that are available to be revived. This icon can be seen through obstacles. In order to revive this teammate, I am quick casting Resurrect. This is done by bringing up the selection wheel, selecting Resurrect, and then pressing right trigger instead of the button to be mapped. This allows you to cast the spell without mapping it to the controller. Resurrecting an ally locks points at the bottom of your essence bar, which limits your magical abilities. These will remain locked until your ally dies. Corpses will remain on the battlefield and be able to be revived unless cleared by the opposing team. While this is technically a fair aspect of the game, the online community looks down on clearing bodies and considers anyone who clears bodies to be a pussy bitch. Try not to resurrect your allies if you are still in harm's way. In this example, my teammate dies immediately after resurrecting me, which puts me in a fucking predicament. Remember that if you die, all those you've resurrected will begin to bleed out. Players who are bleeding out will slowly lose health until they die unless resurrected by another teammate. If you begin to bleed out, try to find a tree of life to tide you over until another ally can resurrect you. It is possible to resurrect multiple allies at the same time, as long as their bodies are in close proximity. As you can see, we are only penalized the standard 4 essence points, even though we have resurrected 2 allies. Many of the magic and tech abilities work in combination with each other. In this example, we can resurrect 2 allies even though their bodies are fairly far apart, by teleporting while casting Resurrect. And this brings us to Teleport. Teleport allows you to transport about 20 feet in the direction you're moving. However, this is not always the direction you are facing. Teleport upwards by either jumping or looking up when casting the spell. Teleport down by either looking down or kneeling while casting. It can move you through walls, help you make impossible jumps, and make you a much more elusive target. When chasing someone who is teleporting away from you, watch for the trail of magic left on the floors, ceilings, and walls which indicate which way your opponent fled. Teleporting past an enemy and hitting him from behind, or flanking him, can be a good way to disorient your opponent. It is possible to double teleport by first looking upward and teleporting, then pressing jump, and then teleporting a second time. To pull this off, you have to get the timing just right, but it can give you a competitive advantage by allowing you to get to hard-to-reach places. Next, we will discuss Strangle. Strangle creates a growth of crystals that you can use to cut off a passage, protect the artifact, or otherwise impede the opposing team. These crystals will drain the magic and life of anyone who touches them, and will disappear in 90 seconds, or when they take enough damage. Casting this spell will lock out some of your available essence until the crystals are destroyed. Once trapped in Strangle, an opponent will find it hard to teleport out due to its magic draining effects. Strangle is best as a defensive spell, but it can certainly be used offensively, especially in areas where your opponent has limited movement. Our next power is Smoke. When cast, Smoke transforms your body to a cloud-like form, and you'll become impervious to physical harm. Weapons and grenades will have no effect on you while in this form. Additionally, you will be impervious to fall damage. However, if you get hit with Gust, you will take damage and be knocked out of your Smoke form. If Smoke is equipped, enhanced vision devices won't register your presence. This power can be used offensively by pairing it with a rocket launcher. Remember that while in Smoke, your essence bar will slowly drain, run out of essence, and you will be brought out of Smoke. Our next spell is very simple, but also very useful. Gust allows you to shoot a burst of high-velocity wind from your palm. This can be used to push back enemies while firing your weapon. This simultaneously knocks them off balance. Gust can also be used to ground someone using Glider. It pairs nicely with a rifle for mid-range attacks. It is possible to Gust after throwing a grenade to increase your range. You can even Gust grenades back at enemies and cause them to commit suicide. Gust towards the ground at the right time to avoid fall damage. Don't forget to use it against anyone using Smoke. Summon is the most expensive spell of the game. The spell will cast a magical beast to fight on your behalf. Anytime a beast is summoned, 4 essence points will be locked out of your essence bar, limiting your other abilities. Summon beasts will either guard an area, or, if you target an opponent when you cast, fight that particular enemy to the death. This can be helpful for guarding the artifact or other areas of strategic importance. Summoned beasts aren't that tough to cope with. They don't use weapons, so simply keeping your distance is an effective strategy. However, do not underestimate them. It does not take many melee attacks for a beast to kill you. Anti-magic generators will also make short work of them, as will proximity to dwarves. Now we'll be looking at the different tech abilities. Our first is Glider. The Glider is a handy gadget that lets you jump higher and faster and can save you from a nasty fall. The more advanced players can pair this with Gust to perform a Gust Glide. This is done by gusting at the ground and then hitting Glider. As you can see, this allows you to fly much higher and faster than a standard glide. Always remember, gliding is slow and you'll be an easy target, which snipers can take advantage of. Pair it with Teleport to be more elusive or to surprise enemies when on the attack. Our second tech ability is Enhanced Vision. This ability allows you to see where enemies are even through walls. The effect only lasts about 5 seconds, but it recharges very quickly, meaning it can and should be used very frequently. Enhanced vision is helpful in both offense and defense. Always remember that any enemy with smoke mapped will not be displayed when using enhanced vision. Be aware of opponents using EV. You'll see a red circle expand across your screen, meaning that an enemy has spotted you with enhanced vision and your position has been compromised. Our next ability is Smart Link. This is a great pickup for the sloppy shooter and for those who are new to the game. Smart Link increases your accuracy and adds another level of zoom with all weapons. It also prevents friendly fire. Smart Link does have a few drawbacks, however. When enabled, it emits a laser sight, which can give away your position. It also targets the torso of your opponent, making it impossible to score headshots. While this may be helpful when starting out, the online community generally dislikes players who use this ability and may request that before you use it, you first go suck a bag of dicks. Our next tech ability are anti-magic generators. These little devices can be lobbed like grenades and they'll stick to any surface. Once placed, they cast a field that will nullify any magical effects and drain essence from enemies. Dwarves have this ability naturally, but AN generators are helpful for other classes. These are great for clearing trees of life, strangle, or summoned minions. They have an added bonus of not locking any essence points out once equipped. Wired Reflexes gives you a performance boost that can prove helpful with all races. Once equipped, it has a passive benefit of increasing your character's run speed. It can also be activated to allow you to sacrifice some health for a short burst of speed. Use this wisely and weigh the cost-benefit of decreasing your health to close the distance on an enemy. If you're a katana user, Wired Reflexes also allows you to block some, but not all, frontal gunfire. Here's an example of blocking incoming fire to get an advantage on an opponent. Grenades do not lock out any essence once equipped. They also do not have to be purchased. Instead, every player will start each round with 2 grenades. These are also very easy to quick cast. Now's a good time to show you how easy it can be to quick cast certain abilities. It seems that the creators of the game purposely set up the selection wheel to make it easy to quick cast grenades, anti-magic generators, tree, and resurrect. This takes practice to master, but there is a huge benefit in not having to use controller slots to use these abilities. We're going to go over the weapons and races very quickly because this video is taking longer than expected to make. I've got kids and a wife and a job and shit, and I don't have time to keep working on this. You can carry up to 2 weapons at any given time. Each weapon has a different weight that may decrease your mobility, but each race has different amounts of strength. The higher your strength, the less encumbered you will be by heavy weapons. The pistol does not have to be purchased and is Shadowrun's default weapon. Don't be fooled. While in most games the pistol is fairly ineffective, in Shadowrun, well-placed headshots with a pistol can beat an SMG or a rifle. Because of this, I recommend generally not buying weapons in the first couple of rounds. It is better to instead buy tech or magic that you will keep for the rest of the game. Remember, if you die, you will not start with a weapon in the next round unless you repurchase one. The SMG is exactly what you think it is. Hold down the trigger if shooting enemies immediately in front of you, but remember to shoot in short, controlled bursts if players have some distance. The rifle can be very effective. Fight the urge to zoom in, as it is usually better to shoot without a zoom function. Be wary of shooting too frequently because you must time shots in order to be accurate. The shotgun is standard when compared to other first-person shooters. It is a great short-range weapon, but it will slow down humans and elves due to their low strength. Use tech and magic to close the gap to your opponent. The minigun can be deadly once it starts firing, but it must get up to speed first. Trolls and dwarves can be very effective with this weapon, since they have the strength to wield it and enough health to make it difficult to take them out before it starts firing. Be careful of friendly fire when using this weapon.
Lineage wins.
The katana is the only melee weapon in the game. When wielding the katana, you will automatically be put into third person. It can be effective at face-to-face combat, but the real benefit is being able to bleed out enemies who are unaware of your presence. Unaware enemies have an icon above their head. Use teleport or wired reflexes to close the distance and slice them in the back. The sniper rifle is very powerful and accurate, but must be zoomed in order to fire. Again, it is necessary to time your shots and not shoot too quickly in order to keep your accuracy. The rocket launcher is extremely expensive and not very accurate. That being said, it is very powerful. The sound of a rocket launcher being fired is very unique, so go into smoke if you hear it. Shadowrun features 4 races to choose from. All weapons, magic, and tech are available to each of these races, but they have a number of distinct characteristics that make each of them compelling. Learn the advantages of each race and tailor your playstyle accordingly. Each race has a different amount of strength, health, and essence points. Humans are well-rounded. They are the second fastest race, not far behind elves, and are fairly strong as well. They can carry the sniper rifle and maintain the same speed as trolls, but they still sag a bit when lugging around the minigun or a rocket launcher. The real advantage to playing with humans is that you're adaptable. Communicate with your team and find the role that's needed. Whatever it is, a human should be capable. They begin the first round with $2,500 instead of $2,000, which means that you can buy an ability and a weapon in the first round or buy teleport in the first round. They're also able to assign tech without having any of their essence locked. This is actually a huge benefit. I recommend using as many tech abilities as possible along with teleport. Elves are the perfect class for those who like hit and run tactics. Not only are they the fastest race with light weapons, but they have a natural ability to regenerate health whenever they are out of harm's way. Therefore, it is not necessary to purchase Tree of Life. They also have the largest essence pool, making them ideal spellcasters. When playing Elf, try to focus on magical abilities and never have more than one tech item equipped at a time. Their magical ability does come at the expense of their strength and vitality. Elves have 22% less health than humans, but this is easily offset by their regenerative ability. The speed advantage quickly vanishes when carrying around heavy weapons, however. Trolls are walking tanks, large, slow, and strong with armor-plated skin. When hit, trolls use essence to build up a hardening of the skin that lasts a few seconds. This won't save them from sniper rifles, but it makes them very tough against rapid-fire weapons. When fighting against a troll, try to take away their essence using either anti-magic generators or strangle. This will take away their ability to harden their skin and therefore make them more vulnerable. Trolls are also the class of choice for massive weaponry. They can lug around a minigun or rocket launcher without any speed penalty. Of course, they aren't that fast to begin with. However, they are the speediest class around with a large weapon. Their large size and slow speed make trolls an easy target, so it might be best to use them in team formations so that they don't get swarmed. With good support cover, trolls can deal some serious damage. Dwarves have a natural anti-magic ability and are basically walking anti-magic generators. When dwarves get close to a magical spell such as Strangle, Tree, or Summon, they can drain it and destroy it just by their proximity. They can also drain the essence of anyone that treads close, friend or enemy. Dwarves depend on this ability to replenish their supply of essence, because while they have a large essence pool, they regenerate it extremely slowly. Because of this, dwarves aren't well suited to teleport, since it requires such frequent use. Dwarves are reasonably strong for their size and can carry heavy weapons with only a small speed penalty. When playing as dwarf, get in close to opponents and steal their essence to prevent them from retreating. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it's convinced you to give this game a try. I'm sure there's some things I've missed, so if you think of any interesting things that people might benefit from knowing, please put that in the comments section at the bottom. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, go fuck yourself. I didn't get paid to do this. But thanks for watching.